Hi guys, how are you? It's so good to see you. So today we are going to be reading the book, I Know the River Loves Me, and we are going to be describing the setting. Yes, very good setting. Please remember that the setting is where the story takes place. And the setting for this story is actually going to be in or near the river. So we are going to practice describing that. Maybe it uses our five senses, maybe some things that we can smell, some things that we can see with our eyes, some things that we can hear in the story, using the pictures and the words. Very good job. All right, let's get started. So it says, I am here to visit one of my best friends in the whole world. I know the river loves me because I can hear her calling me as soon as I am close. So we're going to stop right here, and this is going to be the first setting that we're going to describe. The words say, she jumps and sings when she sees me. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to take a really good look at this picture because we're going to describe the setting. Now, let's talk about the setting. The setting is a flowing river on a hot day. Now, I want us to say how we would describe this and how we know this. So we're going to use the sentence stem right here that says, I see, and we're going to talk about all of the things that we see in our setting to help us describe it. All right. So I could say, for example, I see that there are fish swimming in the sea, which means that the river must be flowing, right? I can also say, I see that it must be a hot day because she is wearing sandals and she's also wearing a short dress, right? That's usually what we wear when it's really, really hot. Okay, so from some of these clues, okay, I could say that I see a river that is flowing on a very hot day, and that would help me to describe my setting. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next page. And the words tell us, I run to her side and she cools me down. So when it says I run to her side, she is talking about the river. So I want us to think about how the river feels when we describe this. So I'm going to give you the sentence stem, and it says, I think the river feels blank. I think the river feels blank. Well, let's talk about how we think the river feels. Let's think about that for a second. Let's take a look. Let's look at her face. How do you think the river must feel? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think. I think the river must feel cool and wet. And if you said that, you did a great job. And here's why. I'm going to show you some picture clues and some text clues that help us with that. Okay, so if I look at my text clues, it says, I run to her side and she cools me down. Cools. So that must mean that the river must feel cool. So there is one text evidence right here. Another thing that I can do is if I look at the picture, what is she dipping her feet in? Yeah, she's dipping her feet in the river. Why do you think someone would dip their feet in the river? To cool off. You're right. Absolutely. It's so that she could cool off, right? And another thing is, if you look at her face, look at her face right here. It's almost like she's saying, oh my gosh, I feel so much better, right? So we can probably say by looking at her face that she is dipping her feet in the water, and by looking at the words, that the river must feel cold and wet. And so those are some really good ways that we could describe our setting, okay? All right, guys, you all did a really great job helping me to describe this setting. We said that the river felt cold and wet. We also said I see that fish are swimming and that the river is flowing. So we could probably describe our setting as a cold, wet river that is flowing with lots of fish in it. And if we had to draw a picture, we would probably have a pretty good idea of all the things that we needed to draw. Great job helping me describe that setting. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day.